One aircraft, more than any other, plunged the heart of the Third Reich into an inferno of fire and fear. Yet its young crews faced a deadly, almost unimaginable crucible of hell every single night. By the end of this journey, you will uncover the astonishing engineering, the devastating power, and the profound human cost behind Britain's most iconic heavy bomber, a machine that defined the brutal nocturnal struggle of World War II. This is the harrowing saga of the Avro Lancaster, a four-engined Leviathan that became the unstoppable spearhead of Bomber Command. But how did this single aircraft, forged in the crucible of urgent wartime necessity, ascend to become the undisputed heavyweight champion of the night sky? And what truly catastrophic price was paid for its unparalleled supremacy? As the shadows of the late 1930s lengthened across Europe, the Royal Air Force found itself grappling with a critical strategic dilemma. The belief in daylight bombing, where tightly packed formations of bombers would defend themselves, was crumbling under the relentless assault of German fighters. Early in World War II, raids by aircraft like the Wellington and Whitley proved disastrous in broad daylight, forcing a grim realization. If Britain was to take the fight to Nazi Germany, it would have to do so under the clandestine blanket of night. But the existing bombers were simply not enough. They lacked the range, the payload, and crucially, the defensive capabilities needed for a sustained, punishing offensive. Bomber Command, formed in 1936, desperately needed a heavyweight. The answer, miraculously, emerged from a spectacular failure. Avro, a British aircraft manufacturer, had designed the twin-engined Manchester bomber in response to a 1936 Air Ministry specification. Intended as a medium bomber, the Manchester was plagued by its Rolls-Royce Vulture engines, which proved woefully underpowered and notoriously unreliable. With only 200 Manchesters ever built and the type withdrawn from service by 1942, it seemed a dead end. Yet, Avro's chief designer, Roy Chadwick, saw not defeat but opportunity. He boldly re-engineered the Manchester, stretching its wings and, in a stroke of genius, replacing the problematic Vulture engines with 4 of the legendary Rolls-Royce Merlin power plants, the very same engines that propelled the iconic Spitfire. This audacious redesign, initially designated the Manchester Mk3, took its maiden flight on January 9, 1941, even before the Manchester's first operational sortie. The new aircraft quickly shed its predecessor's troubled name, becoming the Avro Lancaster. It was an instant triumph. Unlike other bombers of the era, the Lancaster featured a massive, unobstructed bomb bay stretching an incredible 33 feet. This unique design feature allowed it to carry the largest bombs in the RAF's arsenal, including the formidable 4,000-pound Cookie blast bombs, and later the gargantuan 12,000-pound Tallboy and 22,000-pound Grand Slam earthquake bombs. No other bomber in World War II could match its payload capacity. With a wingspan of 102 feet and a length of nearly 70 feet, the Lancaster was a truly immense machine. Powered by its 4 Merlin engines, each delivering around 1,460 to 1,600 horsepower, it could reach a maximum speed of approximately 280 miles per hour and boasted a service ceiling of 24,500 feet. It entered combat with RAF Bomber Command in February 1942 and swiftly became the main aircraft for the relentless nighttime bombing campaigns over Europe. With a wingspan of 102 feet and a length of nearly 70 feet, the Lancaster was a truly immense machine. Powered by its 4 Merlin engines, each delivering around 1,460 to 1,600 horsepower, it could reach a maximum speed of approximately 280 miles per hour and boasted a service ceiling of 24,500 feet. It entered combat with RAF Bomber Command in February 1942 and swiftly became the main aircraft for the relentless nighttime bombing campaigns over Europe. Life inside a Lancaster was a cramped, deafening, and terrifying existence. A standard crew comprised 7 young men, often barely out of their teens, hailing from across Britain, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and other Commonwealth nations. The pilot, the skipper, sat on the left, the ultimate authority in the cockpit, with no co-pilot. To his right sat the flight engineer, managing the complex array of engines and systems. Behind them, often curtained off to preserve night vision, the navigator meticulously plotted their course through the inky blackness, relying on dead reckoning, celestial navigation, and increasingly sophisticated radar systems like GI, H2S, and oboe. The wireless operator maintained vital contact with base, while the bomb aimer lay prone in the nose, peering through the transparent cupola, his world narrowing to the target, illuminated by flares or radar. Protecting the aircraft from above and behind were the mid-upper and rear gunners, crammed into unheated turrets, constantly scanning the skies for deadly enemy night fighters. The rear gunner, the tail-end Charlie, occupied arguably the most isolated and perilous position. These crews formed unbreakable bonds, a brotherhood forged in the fires of constant danger. With an average loss rate of 5% per mission, surviving a full tour of 30 operations was a testament to both skill and sheer luck. The mortality rate for Bomber Command aircrew throughout the war was a staggering 44.4%, the highest of any branch of the armed forces. Every mission was a roll of the dice, a harrowing journey into the unknown. Under the command of Air Chief Marshal Sir Arthur Bomber Harris, who took over in February 1942, RAF Bomber Command shifted its strategy. Recognizing the limitations of precision bombing at night, Harris embraced area bombing, targeting entire German cities to cripple industrial capacity and undermine civilian morale. This was a controversial, but, in the desperation of wartime, deemed necessary approach. The air war became a deadly chess match. As Lancasters struck deeper and harder, the Luftwaffe's night fighter force developed terrifyingly effective countermeasures. German radar operators guided Messerschmitts and Junkers fighters, often equipped with upward-firing Schräge Musik cannons that allowed them to attack from below, unseen, into the bomber's unprotected belly. Bomber Command, unaware of this capability for months, suffered heavy losses. Yet, the Lancasters kept coming, their unwavering resolve fueled by the belief they were bringing the war home to the enemy. Among the many thousands of missions, some stand out as epic tales of courage and engineering audacity. Perhaps the most famous was Operation Chastise, the legendary Dambusters raid of May 1943. Led by the extraordinary Wing Commander Guy Gibson, 617th Squadron, a unit specially formed for this task, trained in top secret to deliver a unique weapon, Barnes-Wallis's bouncing bomb. These cylindrical mines were designed to skip across the water, sink at the dam wall, and detonate underwater, creating a localized earthquake effect. On the night of May 16th and 17th, 19 specially adapted Lancasters took off, flying at incredibly low altitudes, sometimes as low as 60 feet, to avoid German radar. Gibson's formation attacked the Monet Dam, facing intense flak. One after another, the bouncing bombs were released, striking the massive concrete wall. Finally, with a catastrophic roar, the Monet Dam breached, unleashing a torrent of water into the Ruhr Valley. The Ettersee Dam soon followed. While the Sorpe Dam sustained only minor damage, the flooding caused immense disruption to German industry, destroying hydroelectric power stations, factories, and mines. Tragically, it also claimed the lives of an estimated 1,600 civilians, including 1,000 forced laborers. 8 Lancasters and 53 aircrew were lost, a stark reminder of the mission's deadly cost. Operation Chastise, though controversial in its human toll, was a miraculous feat of precision bombing that stunned the world and boosted Allied morale. The war, however, was far from over. From November 1943 to March 1944, Bomber Command launched its most ambitious and brutal campaign, the Battle of Berlin. Air Chief Marshal Harris believed he could wreck Berlin from end to end and break Germany's will to fight. Over these relentless months, Lancasters, often equipped with advanced H-2S ground mapping radar, flew 16 major raids against the German capital, dropping thousands of tons of bombs. The scale of the attacks was unprecedented, but so were the losses. Berlin's formidable defenses, including dense flak batteries and skilled night fighter squadrons, exacted a horrific toll. Bomber Command lost 492 aircraft, and over 3,500 aircrew were killed or captured during the Battle of Berlin alone, a loss rate of 5.8%, exceeding the acceptable operational limit. The bitter cold, fierce German resistance, and immense distances pushed crews to their absolute limits. While the raids caused extensive damage and devastating firestorms, making 450,000 people homeless and killing thousands, they ultimately failed to force a German capitulation. Berlin, though scarred, endured. Yet the Lancaster's versatility wasn't limited to area bombing. It proved equally devastating in specialized, precision attacks. One of its most pivotal roles was hunting the German battleship Tirpitz, the formidable, lonely queen of the North. For years, this warship, hiding in Norwegian fjords, tied up significant Allied naval resources. In November 1944, after several earlier attempts, Lancasters of 9 and 617 squadrons, once again modified, delivered the final, decisive blow. Carrying the colossal 12,000-pound tallboy bombs designed to penetrate thick armor, 31 Lancasters attacked the Tirpitz in Tromsø Fjord. Despite a German smokescreen, the precision bombing was deadly. Multiple tallboys struck home, causing the Leviathan to capsize, a catastrophic end to Germany's last major battleship threat. This mission was a testament to the Lancaster's unmatched bomb-carrying capability and the unwavering skill of its crews. As the war entered its final stages, Lancasters continued their relentless campaign, bombing V-weapon sites, U-boat pens, and critical infrastructure like the Bielefeld Viaduct, which was demolished in March 1945 by the monstrous 22,000-pound Grand Slam bomb, the largest bomb dropped in the war. When the guns finally fell silent in May 1945, the Lancasters' wartime service was far from over. In a powerful act of humanity, Lancasters were quickly adapted for Operation Manna, dropping desperately needed food supplies to the starving Dutch population. They also played a vital role in Operation Exodus, repatriating over 74,000 British prisoners of war, bringing them home to a grateful nation. The Lancaster's post-war life saw it evolve beyond its bombing role. Many were converted for maritime patrol and anti-submarine duties and for photo reconnaissance and aerial mapping. A civilian version, the Avro Lancastrian, even served as a long-range passenger and postal delivery airliner, a testament to the aircraft's robust design. The Royal Canadian Air Force continued to use Lancasters in maritime reconnaissance roles until the early 1960s, with the last aircraft retired on April 1, 1964. Yet, for decades, the legacy of RAF Bomber Command and the men who flew the Lancasters remained a source of profound controversy. While their bravery was undeniable, the morality of strategic bombing, particularly the immense civilian casualties, cast a long shadow. For too long, the sacrifices of over 55,000 Bomber Command aircrew who paid the ultimate price were largely unacknowledged. It wasn't until 2012, nearly 7 decades after the war, that a permanent memorial to these valiant airmen was finally unveiled in Green Park, London, funded by private donations. A long overdue recognition for those who endured the nightmare skies. The Avro Lancaster was more than just a machine. It was a symbol of unwavering British resolve, a devastating tool of war, and a testament to the extraordinary courage of the young men who flew it. From its humble origins as a failed twin-engine design, it ascended to become the most successful British heavy bomber of World War II, delivering a staggering 608,612 long tons of bombs in over 156,000 sorties. It shaped the outcome of the war, diverting German resources and crippling their industrial might. The roar of its Merlin engines is now largely silenced, replaced by the hushed reverence of museums and the annual flyovers of the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight. But the stories of the Lancaster and its crews continue to echo, reminding us of the immense sacrifices made in the darkest of nights. These were ordinary men, thrust into extraordinary circumstances, who climbed into an aluminum and canvas behemoth night after night, knowing the odds were stacked against them. Their courage, their camaraderie, and their relentless determination remain an enduring inspiration. What untold stories of valor and fear do you carry from this tumultuous era? Share your thoughts and reflections in the comments below, and join our community as we continue to explore the pivotal moments and machines that shaped our world.